Happy Sunday, everybody. It's another Sunday here on Nerdbox and Howling Hour Live. It's just the three of us rolling tonight. Hopefully, everybody is doing good out there.
I'm
It's been a
cold.
What's good? What's good?
you look like a floating face out there
Look
on
like the
Well, I got
Queen
the
album. Look like the Queen album with just the head.
Yep.
well, I gotta get the. I have to have the hair busted out then.
Looks
I
like
got this.
just
I got this like holy glow going on for some reason with the lights today.
yep. Alrighty.
Whatever.
So it's been a busy week. We got a busy week coming up. We're gonna dive into some of the stuff that we've been working on and involved with pretty soon. We got Becky Galaz. Hopefully I say it right. I'm horrible at names, so if I said it wrong,
Yeah,
I'm an idiot. So we got King Matthew. He dropped in a comment, so we'll talk to about that very shortly. So a lot of cool stuff is going on. A big movie weekend. Very big movie weekend. We got Lilo and Stitch. We got Mission Impossible, and then we got Netflix dropping with their latest Fear Street movie, and that is Prom Queen. So I know Marcus, you haven't gotten to see Mission Impossible yet, but very good possible end to the entire franchise. They wrapped up the bow very nicely. They pulled everything together for all of the films in the franchise. They made sure they touched base on everything and made every single film important. And it was very good. Very good.
yeah. I think we gotta do a show like after everybody's seen the movies, like we go through all 8 films. I think that would be fun to do.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. We go from the worst one of the bunch, which was number one, and then as they gradually just get better over time.
You think one was worse? A lot of people say two, but yeah.
Yeah, I think one was the worst.
Two was pretty bad. Two was pretty bad, honestly. I can say it.
So we got King Matthew in there saying, "I'm considering on starting the Mission Impossible movies for the first time. I've never seen any of them, but the trailer for the
Oh,
new
you
movie looks
should, man.
interesting."
No, you
hmm
should. They,
Three is
like
where
Dave said, they
it
get
like
better.
really kicks off. You got you, especially
Yeah.
with Simon Pegg introduced into the franchise.
Philip
hmm
Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, 3 is my
Yeah.
favorite of the franchise. So yeah.
Yeah, so I was the same way. You know, you hear all the stories about Tom Cruise and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to watch this
hmm
franchise. But what got me into the franchise was Henry Cavill, right? So
Mm,
seeing the trailer over and over again and seeing the
hmm
bathroom scene when he just comes up and he just flexes and you hear the
reloading the
shirt pop.
guns. Yeah, reloading
Yeah,
the
it's like,
gun.
whoa. Yep. You hear
Yeah,
that shirt pop with
yeah.
him reloading the guns. It's like, I want to see that fight scene. So
Well,
what we did
not
is
just
we
Henry
all
though.
watched it.
Not just Henry. Shoot, Angela Bassett, man. Anything she's in, I'm like, I'm
hmm
there, dude. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
me some Angela Bassett, man. So,
Yeah, so based off of that scene, and then in the second trailer for that movie, they showed the helicopter scene in it too. It's like,
mhm.
damn, we went and watched them all. Like the first one is the slowest one, so it may take you some time to get into it. The second one starts to pick up, but like Noah was saying, once three hits, it's just all out,
Yeah, it
great
takes
from
off.
there on out.
Yeah, it
Yep.
takes off from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the big things about that franchise is he's doing his own stunts even in the
hmm
first film. There's a scene in the
hmm
first film with aquariums, fish aquariums,
hmm
and it looks like it's CGI, but it's not. That's actual real
It's
stuff that
not.
they were doing.
I
Yep.
forgot how many gallons of water was in there, but yeah, it was a lot.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even the
So.
actor that played opposite him, the one that starred in Scream 6,
hmm
he even said that he was like he didn't want to be anywhere near
hmm
it. So yeah, that scene is to this day still epic. Yeah.
Yep. Jeremy Renner in Ghost Protocol. He was pretty good in there. Like when he didn't.
hmm
Well, I can't say nothing, so I'll leave it at that. But
Yeah.
he's not in the entire franchise. So.
Yeah, they kind of did him and Paula Patton wrong. I wish they would have brought him back more because she
hmm
was in the fourth one as well, Ghost Protocol,
hmm
and I thought she was awesome.
Yep.
And she was pregnant in that movie doing her stunts. She,
hmm
her and Robin Thicke were married at the time, and they were expecting it. She did her stunts in
Yeah.
that. Say what you want about Tom Cruise, but you can't deny he is the action star. Like more
Oh
so
yeah.
than Arnold, more so than
hmm
Sylvester Stallone. Like Tom Cruise is the man. He is on that mountain by himself, mountaintop by
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. The stuff is.
And he makes good movies, man. Tom makes
hmm
good movies, you know.
Yep.
So
Yep. I love War of the Worlds. I love Jack Reacher. I love
Hmm
Minority Report. Fantastic movie too. That's
Minority
another
Report,
one.
man.
Yep,
Love
very
Minority
good
Report.
movie.
Yeah.
All right, so that was one of the big movies of the weekend. Let's see. I don't know what the box office is looking like this weekend, but I think Lilo and Stitch was kind of crushing it the entire weekend. So let's
Garbage.
see here.
Garbage.
I'm hearing mixed reviews about it.
Did you
Oh,
watch
really?
the original cartoon?
Yeah, I watched the cartoon and the
How
cartoon
strongly do you
series.
feel about the original Lilo and Stitch film?
The
Let's take a
cartoon,
look
the
here.
animated.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I liked it. I liked it, but
Lilo and
then you know what? Somebody brought some stuff up because they were like, you know how they drew uh some of the characters in that, which they shouldn't have
Mhm.
been drawn that way, being their
Yep.
age. you know, so somebody made the joke saying, "Oh, a lot of men that were kids then are gonna be
Mhm.
disappointed when they go see
Yep.
the live action movie."
Well, let's
Uh,
take a look at this right here, right? So, I know what you're talking about. But she was a good nanny. She was a good nanny.
yeah,
Three
yeah, yeah.
hundred and forty-one million dollars globally, Lilo and Stitch, and Mission Impossible has $200 million globally. So that's a huge weekend. That's I think probably the biggest weekend of the year so far because it's just been a
Yeah,
lackluster year for movies. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's good for both franchises because
hmm
Mission Impossible, the last film, did horrible in the box
Oh, look at
office.
him actually hanging off of a flying plane.
What
That's
was the
cool.
budget for it? What was the
For
budget
which
for
one?
it? Let me look that up. Mission Impossible,
Mission Impossible. Let's see. Uh-oh,
because my
it's giving
computer is
away some
slow.
of the don't. Oh, good. It's not showing what I'm typing here, which is fantastic because I have a spoiler in my search engine there that didn't show up on the screen. Thank
Well,
God.
now it's
Final.
showing what you're typing.
Oh no! Don't look. It's a post-credit scene, but that's not there. So, budget. Let's see what the budget was. $400 million. So it made half its money
oh
back
yeah.
in the first weekend.
I hope more people, because like typically the rule of thumb, and I hate to use that term, I always say that.
Hmm
Uh, good rule of thumb is you multiply the budget by 2.5 or 3
hmm
for it to be considered a success in the box office. So
hmm
yeah, so that
I wonder what
means
Lilo.
Mission Impossible has a way to climb to be considered a success. Yeah.
Lilo and Stitches was 100 million, so it's already just about tripled its money, just
hmm
about. So, King Matthew, we'll talk about Avengers at the end of the show tonight. But yeah, I saw your comment there. Yeah, so Lilo and Stitch. Look, I'm gonna say this. I know there's a lot of haters out there. It's getting a little bit bombed when it comes to reviews and stuff like that. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty good. The updates that they made in the film, I would say, is like on the level with Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, where they
Okay.
changed Green
Yeah.
Goblin to the metal suit. So the aliens,
Yeah.
they changed the aliens around, and it makes sense why
Mm-hmm.
they would do that because in the cartoon, it's a cartoon world. So we know Pleakley and Jumbo, when you see them out there, of course, they're gonna blend in because it's cartoon. So they had to do some things to finagle around that. So I was fine with it. It was a fun movie. But the movie
Would
that
you
we're
say
gonna
this
talk
is the best live adaptation for them right now?
to I will say it is the best live action to stay the closest to the story that I've
Okay.
seen. Like I didn't watch
hmm
Pinocchio, so I don't know how close that is. I didn't watch Dumbo to see how close that is. But it's
hmm
the best one since Cruella. Now Cruella was damn good. That's my favorite live action one of the entire thing that they've done.
And it didn't do well, and I think it was more so because of the whole pandemic thing. But yeah, that
Hmm
movie was like awesome because it was like an original take
Yep.
of her story. So yeah.
hmm Yeah. So that one was a fantastic movie. So I enjoyed that one. I don't think anything's gonna touch that. But we're gonna talk about Netflix dropping the fourth film in the Fear Street series by R.L. Stein, and that is Prom Queen.
hmm
So that came out this past weekend as well. We all watched that today to catch up with it.
hmm
So Noah, you kind of asked us if we had strong opinions about the film. So we'll start with you on that. So
I
what's your thoughts
I
on it?
can't even talk about my hatred for this live action film because it would spoil anybody who hasn't seen
We're
it.
talking about.
You are so
Wait a minute.
wrong
Wait a minute.
about it. Okay, I
We're
can't
not
even
even
say anything.
talking about that. Catch up. We're talking about Prom Queen.
Sorry. I got so angry about your earlier comments that I was on delay. Yeah.
Oh, he was still on Lilo and Stitch.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just the pure anger. I was asking because I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really fun. It was really funny too. There was like a few heavy scenes that I wasn't expecting, but overall, it was a really funny movie. I thought it was a good like love story to slasher films from the 80s and 90s, and I think it's something that you can sit down and have fun watching. I've only seen, other than this Fear Street movie, Fear Street 1994, and I vaguely remember
first movie.
So yeah, so I'll have to go back and watch those because this one was fun. This one was fun to watch.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. This is a great love letter to 80s slasher films. And what we've seen, I'm sure everybody that's watching too, what we've seen when it comes to the 80s horror movies is they try to throw all of this nonsense in there to make you know that it's the 80s. So they kind of turn the level up, like with the clothing or with certain props that may be in the film that really highlight that, hey, this is the 80s. Do you understand this is the 80s? We're going to shove it down your throat that this is the 80s. This here, all the little things.
Something in private chat. One of the things that makes you know it screams the 80s that they added, and they're like, I just could, like, I wanted to fast forward, but like I just couldn't help watch.
Yeah, that was a little silly, but
fine.
It's fun though.
That's the movie style. I'm talking about like the aesthetic and the props and stuff like that. They always just kind of throw that in there to make sure that you realize it's the 80s, and they didn't really focus on all of that stuff in the background. What you really had was a bunch of teens that were into horror back then, because horror was big, so we're getting to experience their lives and them having their knowledge of horror and stuff like that in the movie. But I don't understand it. It's getting a lot of hate from reviewers out there saying that it's really lackluster and boring. But did you forget the 80s when the slashers were really big? We got a lot of minor slashers that were out there that were just really good slasher films. That weren't like, hey, I don't need a franchise for it, but this is something good to sit down and watch, and this is one of them.
It's a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah.
Yep. So my take on it, man, is like you said, is very. Me, I love the aesthetic of it. I love the score. I even love the soundtrack because they had hit songs from the 80s in the movie. Cinematically, it felt retro, like an 80s film. The killer's costume was simple but still effective and cool. The mask is sick. The kills were inventive and great.
Yeah, very good.
It played up some of those 80s horror tropes, as far as like the characters and dialogue. It was like the perfect horror slasher, like 80s horror slasher for me. Where it was like very reminiscent of Prom Night, the original Prom Night.
Yeah,
even the remake. Even the remake to it, like in a scene particular, and I think they did that intentionally, where that scene was very in line with the scene in the remake of Prom Night, where a person got killed off with a tarp all over the place and stuff. So it was just a good movie. My only issue with the movie was, and anybody else that's watched it, Dave said he didn't notice it. But me, I guess because of the technical eyes and watching, a lot of times in the scenes, I don't know if it was like the editor's choice or whatever, a lot of times you'll hear the dialogue, but you don't see the actor's lips moving. So to me, I think editing wise, they took some bad takes where they were focusing on the main character, but then the person is over the shoulder and you can still see their face and their lips aren't moving, even though their character is speaking. So I saw a lot of that in the film. So that kind of like, I would have scored this 5 out of 5, but because of that, I drop it down to like 3.5, 4 out of 5. But overall, it's a strong entry.
Yeah, I'm at 3.5 too. Like, just to answer King Matthew's question, you don't have to watch the other films to watch this one. This is a perfect standalone.
Well, yes and no, because they do mention the original trilogy, and then there is an Easter egg in the movie that is linking to the rest of the trilogy. But not enough that you have to watch it. Yeah, not enough that you got to watch them.
Yeah,
But I mean, like you, like it would be. They're good. They're probably going to be good watches to watch those as well if you wanted to. But this one's a good standalone as well.
Yeah, like so you mentioned it. So like the slasher movie Prom Night. It reminds me. It has little vibes of Carrie in there, right? It has.
Yeah, I got that. Yep.
Yeah, it's got some vibes of what the heck is that movie? It's slipping. Oh, Prom Night 2. Prom Night 2 kind of
Oh
has a
yeah,
feeling in there. So all of
Return
the
to
if
Narrative.
you like those prom type horror movies, this is a very good film to lump. It's not as good as Carrie or Prom Night or Prom Night 2, but it's good to watch if you're just like, hey, it's prom season. Let me go ahead and find all the prom movies out there. This is definitely one to include into that bunch.
And the definite highlights of the film for me were Chris Klein, and because again, like we talked about earlier, never seen him play a character like that before, and he was awesome in it. Yeah, he was awesome in it. And then the actress, the British actress from Alien Covenant, yeah, she was great in the Harry Potter films.
So you know when
I
think of Chris Klein, I think of Just Friends, and then I think of
American
the
Pie.
movie American Pie. So you see this character like this, and he has somewhat of an asshole type of face. I think we can all agree on that. But to see him as like a teacher, I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, what the hell? That's just something doesn't compute in my brain with that. To see him like that.
Yeah, he was awesome in it.
Yeah, so I was very happy. The one thing that I was happy about was with the kills.
Yeah,
the unaliving moments. I think those were done very good. So when you have a decent slasher movie, what you need is decent characters that you can follow along with, that you like and care about what's going to happen to them, a good mask, and then good unaliving moments. And I think we got all of that.
Even with the twist, even though I kind of figured out the twist, I was okay with it because of still how it played out. Like I was like, okay, cool, but the way it played out, I was like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Like, yeah,
I will say for the average viewer, it's a they do a good job of like making sure that you can kind of guess throughout. Towards the end, it's getting a little obvious, but I feel like in the beginning and middle of it, you're kind of like for the just for a little bit.
And see, again, I like the fact that because the difference between Goosebumps and Fear Street was Goosebumps were horror books for little kids, where Fear Street was more so for teenagers. So this definitely plays up that fact that this is a teenage, tone horror film, which was good, So yeah.
Speaking of Goosebumps, for our collectors out there, those Goosebump figures, I got a chance to look at them up close and personal this week.
Not good.
I don't like them. No, I don't like them at all.
If you're a Goosebumps fan, I think you might like them.
If you're a Goosebumps fan. I like Goosebumps, and I was looking forward to seeing them because it was like, maybe I can find somewhere in the collection here that makes space for them. But no, I don't.
Maybe better off finding handcrafted stuff. Maybe you'll find some better memorabilia online from handcrafted professionals.
Possibly. All right, so we do have a question that came in a little bit earlier. So before we go to our second topic here, so we got King Matthew talking about he found some new information about I Know What You Did Last Summer film coming out, and apparently they're going to retcon the second film where Julie and Ray got married and they'll be divorced in the new one. So Marcus, you can go ahead and take this one away.
I don't know if they'll retcon it because if everybody remembers, Ray did propose to Julie. All the stuff took place, and then they ended up living together at the end. So I could see them, like, to me, the way they edited the trailer is like they're kind of copying Scream 5. But I could definitely see that playing out where, like, along the line, they were married, they got divorced, and then they come back together for this film. Maybe Ray gets killed off, who knows? Especially since they got him, Freddie Prinze, looking like David Arquette, with the salt and pepper goatee and everything. Like he looks just
it on
like
there for him.
Yeah, he looks just like David Arquette in Scream 5, man. So, but fingers crossed, man. I'm hoping, even though I Still Know What You Did Last Summer was considered weaker than the first one, I actually enjoyed the second one a lot. So hopefully, this one will be good, and we just have a good, fun popcorn slasher. They did say this one is more brutal than the other two, as far as the unaliving moment. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. Yeah. You muted.
Oh.
Watching the trailer, I kind of saw them not being together. It looked like they had gotten separated just from the way they were laid out in the
Yeah.
trailer, and it looks like
Yep.
Ray in the film is recovering from that relationship, just like Dewey was. So, I'm still looking forward to the movie. I don't have high expectations for it, just because of maybe with the trailer being laid out a lot like Scream, and so I'm right there in the middle for that one. It's like I'm hoping that it's really good. I'm not expecting it to be really good, so we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I don't have
King's
strong
Matthew
opinions
comment.
about. Where's his comment?
Nah, he was saying it's funny because just like Dewey, Ray always got his ass kicked, which is true.
Yeah, there's a comment that caught your attention. Pay attention. Stop chasing squirrels here. What were you gonna say, Noah?
How am I chasing girls? He said it. I was just being courteous. I don't have strong opinions about like the franchise overall, so I don't have high expectations either. Because I mean, the first one was okay. The second one was less okay, but still okay overall. So we'll see what happens. This one, by the look of the trailer, it does look like it will just be more interesting based off of the kills. So we'll see what happens. Can't be worse than
I'm just curious to see who's. I'm just curious to see who's under the rain, Poncho and the Hook. That's all I care about.
It's Julia. Julia James is the slasher. I'm telling you.
It would be uninteresting otherwise. It wouldn't really matter as much. Because like then they just
unless they. Now to King Matthew's point, if they did retcon part 2, then I would kind of be okay with Ben Willis coming back or his son Will donning the Hook. I would be okay with that. Now that, as far as retconning the story, I'll be all for that. So yeah, because Ben Willis, man, I like Ben Willis.
So what do you think? Right, if I Know What You Did Last Summer came out before Scream in '96, will we have Scream? Right? Do we think that I Know What You Did Last Summer would have kicked off the same slasher craze that Scream did? I don't think so.
No, I think it would have been successful because our generation knew about that it was based on a book first, even though it was totally different from the book. So I think it would have been successful as far as that, but it would not have kicked off the slashers and resurrected the slashers the way Scream did. It just would have been a fun horror film that people would have talked about at school and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it may have killed Scream. King Matthew, your question there? Like, apparently at the end of both films, she got unalived.
It's supposed to be a nightmare, right?
Yeah. Well, the first one, he jumps through the shower at her, and then the second one, like he was saying, under the bed, she gets drugged. So yeah. They tried to clean that one up, but it is what it is. So I guess we'll see what happens with that one. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about some June horror movies in a little bit. But so we had the trailer come out for the Welcome to Derry.
I'm so excited for this, man.
Yeah. So as you poke around in here, you see a lot of callbacks to the movie in certain scenes. It's not necessarily in this here, but like them walking through the town. And apparently this is going to be 3 seasons. So this season I think is set in the 50s or the 60s, and then they're going to jump back another 27 years, and then they're going to go back again. So we're going backwards in the timeline now. And you'll see
so we'll go all the way back to when he was running the carnival, the fair.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So what else we got in here? I just like, because we got Bill coming back.
They got some good actors in this. Like, I recognize some of the actors, the adults, not so much the kids, but the adults. Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to Derry. I'm looking forward to this. I don't get a chance to watch many TV shows, but this is one that I definitely want to latch on and watch. I still got to watch The Last of Us for this season, but that looks like it's going to be good. So thoughts on this here, Marcus? What do you think?
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited. Like, I know I get a lot of flack for this. even though I love Tim Curry as Pennywise, I was never a fan of the original miniseries.
Me either. Yeah,
So yeah, like I mean, Tim Curry knocks it out the park, but the movie itself, the way the miniseries played out, I was like, this is nothing like the books. You know what I mean? I grew up reading the book and stuff, and even though the two films catch a lot of flack, I was like, I really enjoyed the films because the films were closer to the book. Yep. So my fingers crossed on this. I love the whole It universe. I hope we get more about the I always forget the turtle's name because they mention them in chapter 2. But I hope we get more about the entity, the turtle, the tortoise or whatever it was called. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see where they'll take this. And it's cool to see the different eras of Pennywise and how he affected the town, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So so this is a prequel to the movies that are out there. Like you said, and it's not because I saw it later in life. I saw it when it was on TV when I was younger, and I could not get into it. Could not get into it at all. Like it was so cheesy back then that it just turned me off. And I like cheesy horror movies. It's just like I didn't care for the acting in it. Outside of Tim Curry, everything else was just kind of weak in the entire movie to me. And then of course you get to see the spider or crab thing on the strings at the end of the second one. But and I didn't want to see the new remake on it. I was kind of in that ballpark too, where it's like, oh, it's a remake. Can't they come up with anything original? Blah 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 blah. And then it comes to my senses like, oh well, the Thing remake, Hills Have Eyes. There's so many good remakes that are out there, but with this, with the remake when it came out, it was the score and the trailer. Like when you hear that little violin play through that, it's like, oh, that's getting me hyped for it. And I was the first movie was just fantastic. It's probably a film that's going to hold that record for the highest grossing R-rated horror movie of all time forever. I don't think anything's going to touch that. So I'm really excited to see where they're going to continue to go with this character, but in prequel universe. So, so Noah, what about
I'm
you?
excited for it, man.
Yep.
I did like the 90s TV show movie thing. I thought it was fun. I do like the movies more. I didn't watch this trailer prior to like us just skimming through it now because I didn't have a real interest in it. I don't really get around to. Okay, so for reference, I just started Dexter. I'm on season 1 right now. So, like, I have so many shows to watch. This one is not one that's like jumping at the top of my list. Like, if anything's gonna take me out of Dexter, it's gonna be Fallout season 2 or X-Men 97 season 2. Other than that, I'm just sticking to that. This looks interesting. I don't know if it's interesting enough to pull me away from a show right now, though. That's gonna take me start to finish.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair to say. Yeah, Dexter is actually the first show I ever binge watched. I did 5 seasons in 3 weeks. Because it was just so good. It's like, oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can get another episode of
it. This is off topic from horror, but the best show streaming right now is Mobland with Tom Hardy. I'm telling y'all, that show is fire. Yep.
Well, speaking of TV shows, I don't know how many people that are out there that are fully aware of it. So hopefully the hard nerds that are out there and the nerd boxes out there know of Near Dark. Everybody, when this movie came out in the 80s, when vampires were somewhat big, everybody was like, Lost Boys, Lost Boys, Lost Boys. This is the better of the 2 films, in my opinion. Like, everybody
I agree.
Loves the Lost Boys. Near Dark is so much better than that. And Bill Paxton, oh my God, he just smacks it out of the park.
All 3 of them. Lance, what's her name? That played Vasquez? Yeah. All 3 of them knocked it out of the park in this.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this. We got A24 that is looking to spin off the Near Dark series with Catherine Bigelow. Oh man, this is going to be a good one. We're probably going to get a really good vampire show done right, because True Blood wasn't done right. Like after the 3rd season, it kind of just fell off.
After the 3rd season, it went downhill. Yeah, this is probably Near Dark to me, next to Sinners. Well, actually, even more than Sinners. Near Dark to me is like probably the grittiest take of vampire story. Like it's just so guttural, man, and the cinematography of it, and the way the characters were written, man.
I'm
I love
so
Near Dark.
glad we're getting scary vampires back.
Mhm.
Because I've been talking about this a lot. A lot of different friends, and I'm starting to get a lot of them to agree with me on this. She was like, well, that regardless of like what your opinions are on like Twilight, and honestly, True Blood in a lot of instances because of how the show is honestly it. Because I like True Blood. I haven't finished it, but I like True Blood from where I'm at. It it hurt vampires as a whole. I
Oh
think
yeah.
like it seriously dragged down like what vampires were. And luckily, like I think I wouldn't say like the werewolves necessarily got unscathed, but they definitely weren't hurt as bad because they're like a smaller niche, I would say. But vampires got seriously damaged because there's a lot of good vampire stories. Like we also got like because what's it called, Transylvania or Castlevania. I'm sorry, Castlevania. Just finished that. That's a really good Dracula story. That's a really good vampire story. That shows like the true like power of vampires. Helsing, if you're into like the grittier type stuff as well, but like hopefully this is gonna be something good because I haven't seen Near Dark.
Oh,
like as someone who read all the books, like I read the Southern Vampire Mysteries, all 13 books of well, some people call it the Sookie Stackhouse stories, but the whole franchise is called the Southern Vampire Mysteries. I read all 13 books, so I was hoping, I was like, even though we wouldn't get 13 seasons of True Blood, I was hoping that we would get at least 5 to 7 solid, like combining the books together because they were some good books. And they crapped on it after the 3rd season, and I was like, oh fuck, man, because I was like, the first 3 seasons, I was like, man, this is awesome. This is how the vampires were. They were cool. They were vicious. You know, they didn't give a fuck, but yet they were still trying to implement into society. And then it just went downhill after season 3. I was like, I don't know what they were thinking. They pulled a Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
That season with the witches was just, it peaked. Like it was nothing that could top that season. But you know, so just a little inside take, right? So I'm a writer. I wrote a novel right around that time. It's a vampire novel, and what I was up against looking for a literary agent and trying to get published and stuff like that was that True Blood and Twilight blew up so big that people wanted, like agents wanted vampire stories, but they wanted vampire stories that were romance and they were on that same level and stuff like that. So you couldn't get a true vampire story out there to be looked at unless it was on that same level. So I'm kind of thankful now that we're getting a vampire resurgence because now I just blew the dust off the novel. It's like, all right, well, let's go ahead and try again. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this published this time around because
vampires are
the
scary
grittiness
motherfuckers.
Yes, yes, and if it's told right, it's excellent. Like so, Near Dark is like I throw that into the category of From Dusk Till Dawn and Sinners, right? Those 3 films kind of live on an island by themselves. And Becky, I'm sorry, Lost Boys is in a different category from those 3, from what I think, because that was more rock starish. Hey, let's get our bad boys. From
Like
the
I love
80s.
Lost Boys.
Yeah,
I love Lost Boys, but Near Dark and Lost Boys, you can't even compare. Like,
yeah, because I like how the Coven is really explored in Near Dark. You know, you have these grifters that are on the road, and you know they encounter things on there. So very good. Oh, this is a good choice in there too. Like Blade was the best vampire film. Blade's a damn good vampire film too.
Yeah,
Blade's a very good vampire film. Yeah. That is
like everybody praised Blade 2, and Blade 2 was great, but the first one holds a special place in my heart, man.
Yeah. I love Blade. That opening scene with the bloodbath. That's a fantastic opening scene for a vampire film. So I love Blade 2. That was like for a longest time. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say
go ahead because I gotta find the movie.
Okay, for the longest time, like when I was, because I was a lot poorer back then. The 3 VHS tapes that I had was Blade, it was The Crow, and it was it Braveheart? I think it was Braveheart. So those were the 3 main films that I had. So like when I moved over to DVDs, those were the first DVDs that I got, and then I had to get Point Break on that too because that was in my top 5 back then. So Blade was always one that I had to get. It was a very fantastic film. And then without Blade,
that soundtrack and everything.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
without Blade, we wouldn't. Without Blade, we wouldn't have Marvel. Period.
This is
So
true.
the
Yeah.
MCU. Period. So
Hmm.
there was a vampire movie. A lot of people slept on it, and it didn't get good reviews and stuff. But I enjoyed it. In 2001, there was a movie called The Forsaken. The Forsaken reminded me so much of Near Dark. Like I really enjoyed the hell out of The Forsaken. Yeah, that was a little
I never.
vampire movie that flew under the radar.
Yeah, I never watched that one because I remember it coming out, and I thought it was like, remember like the 2000s and stuff like that. They switched to what I call
Hmm.
the WB era or the MTV
Mm.
era of horror movies, where it's like, hey, let's get all the
CW.
yeah, let's get all the
Yeah.
CW stars onto movies and stuff like that. We got to make sure we get all the pretty people in. So I kind of avoided it for it, but I think based off of what you're saying, I'd probably go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's very like it pays homage to Near Dark,
Yeah.
and I thought it was done. I thought it was done well personally. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'm very happy that we have Vampire Resurgence. Hopefully, I have my novel in with a publisher. Hopefully, they'll pick it up, and then we'll have 3 projects that I have irons in the fire for that maybe will possibly roll up by next year. So we'll see
Mhm.
what happens with that. So switching over to something else that we're working on, something that it kind of inspired us to go ahead in this route, or inspired me to kind of have this in the back of my mind, is Mixtape Massacre. It's a board game. It's a slasher board game that's out there. They're after a 10-year run, they're stopping production on it. So what I want to share with everybody is the trailer for it. This is a fantastic trailer, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the game. Hopefully, I don't get demonetized for showing the trailer, but let's take a look at it.
You know what they should do? They should adapt and make a digital version of this game to keep it alive, man. Because it's such a fun game. It really is a fun
Hmm.
game.
Marcus, we know people that can do that now.
I know, right?
So,
I
Mixtape
I met the
Massacre.
developer
Yeah.
yesterday.
So Mixtape Massacre, it's been around for 10 years. As you can see here, this is the director's cut. They have the original version, which we own. It's actually signed by all the designers of it, and then they came out with a director's cut. Now you can see the price right there. It was $50. It's going for $20 right now. And then they have the sequel to it, which is Escape from Tall Oaks, and then they have all the expansion packs going for $109. Like, it's low stock right now, but this is definitely something that you want to check out. And they have they have the minis out there, the 3D minis. If you have the game, they have some of the expansion packs already, and they have some extra card decks and stuff like that that are out there. But this is the game that got my entire family really more into board gaming over all the standard board games that we had out there, like Monopoly and Sorry and all that other stuff that got boring and stuff like that. Mixtape Massacre is the 80s base slasher game that got everybody in my household into gaming because it's so fun. And essentially, you play as the slashers and you can go on rampages killing all the people that are in the town. And you have to either build a monster or you have to just slaughter everybody to win. So it is a very fun game to play. I'm very excited that the guys that developed this, while they're not continuing on with this game, they are moving on to a different game in the future. So I'm excited to see what they got coming up next. But I love this game.
That's
It's
good.
hard to see it go, but yeah. No, what's your thoughts on it? Because I know this is one of the games that kind of got you into board gaming, I think, right?
Well, I've always liked board games, so I can't say that necessarily because I have always kind of liked board games, but I will say it is kind of, while it is sad to see it kind of go in a sense, to know that it's not because they're like, you know, they're having issues, they're just working on something new. I like that. I like knowing that they're working on something new because it's something new that we get to most likely play in the future, because I assume that we're
Mhm.
going to be playing that in the future. So
Mhm.
it's a little sad, but at the same time, it's like they're still keeping them. They're still keeping it alive. They're still doing something, and I like that.
Yeah, so King Matthew, essentially, Mixtape Massacre, how I found out about it is going to horror conventions, because that's where they would set up. And I saw the
Yeah.
game, and I went and I had a long conversation.
Mute it. Mute it.
I can. Yeah, we can't hear you.
All right, I'm going to press all my buttons here.
Well, we can
Let
hear
me
you.
know.
We can hear you
Nah,
now.
you good. You good now.
All right. So King Matthew, as I was saying, because my stupid headset shut itself off, was that I went to a horror convention. I saw them set up at a table, had a conversation with the designers there, and I loved what I heard. And then once I got home, broke it out, played it with the family, and I think we played it for a few hours that day. The first time we played it, and been following them ever since. It's definitely a game if you like board games. It's a great party game. It's a great family game. So definitely want to check something like that out.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where they're going next. We're actually kind of borrowing from them. They have this cool health meter, which is a butcher knife that they use in the game, and we're borrowing that health meter, and we're just making it more unique for the stream film. So it'll be custom weapons that the players use in the stream game that we're bringing over to our board game. So that'll be nice to see in our board game. So they have an influence on us for what we're doing with our own game. So very nice. Marcus, have you played it? Did you play with
Yeah.
us when you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
played with you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I played. That didn't
Hmm.
come out right. I played with you. I played the
Yeah.
game with you guys.
Hmm.
Had to catch
Yeah.
myself.
And then speaking of prom queen in there, so there's 80s nostalgia built into this game. So a lot of the scene cards that are in there that you have to play through are scenes from 80s movies, and then the slashers that you play are all inspired by 80s slashers and 90s and 2000 slashers. So those is what the characters look like. But
Yeah.
switching over, not trying to toot our own horn too much here, but so we got some exciting news. I'm going to kind of let Marcus talk about this a little bit, but the announcement this week on Mirror Mirror. This is the film that all three of us worked on this past November when we took our first weekend off from the show. So, Marcus, let's go. Let's talk about Mirror Mirror.
Yeah, so exciting news. Thanks to the charge of our writer producer Drew Phillips. We are premiering Mirror Mirror June 21st at the Chinese Theater in LA. It is a proof of concept. I mean, hopefully we plan on fleshing it out to a feature, but yep, we're getting it into festivals now as well. So hopefully it'll make a good festival run, and hopefully people will be interested in seeing a feature film in the
Hmm.
future. So yeah, man, Drew, I got to take my hat off to Drew because of the fact that while myself included, Jonath, Montavious, we've all been busy with our individual lives and projects and stuff. Drew has been working non-stop on this project from the beginning and getting it to where it is now, man. I just got to take my hat off to him for what he's been
Hmm.
doing. So, but yeah, we had a great time up in Malvern, PA at that Airbnb.
Hmm.
It was a cool location. We
A
stayed there.
Resident
We
Evil style building.
yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's so cool. So aesthetically, when we're able to get this out to the public, man, I hope people will enjoy it.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, you guys take it away and share your experience being on set every day.
Noah, go ahead. Your
I had a
first
lot
time
of
on
fun.
set.
I had a lot of fun doing. I was the assistant to the director. That's
Hmm.
gonna be officially coined. I had a good time. It was it was really fun at night checking all the doors and windows, seeing what was unlocked. That was cool. Um, yeah, it was a fun little experience. I'm excited to potentially be doing it on our own project soon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So here's how I'll add to it. So this is the first film that I worked on from beginning to end. Got to throw in an Easter egg in there in the film that'll show up in one of the scenes. But this is a paranormal film. It's based on a couple, and what these three actors brought to the movie, just in the scenes that we've seen before editing, is over the top. Like, we have a potential breakout actress coming out of this film, Armani, who reminds me of Julia Gardner from Ozarks and from The Wolfman and stuff like that, where her acting was on point. She was very good for being in her first horror film, which she's typically scared of. And some of the creature from Kevin Ward, who was on the Face Off TV show, the creature is just wow, right? I so there's only very close people to us that have seen the creature outside of anybody that's worked on the film, because it's like, look at this is scary, and some of the shots that we got just on stills is very scary, just to see the stills of this creature in the film itself. So I can only imagine how amazing this is going to look. It's going to be scary. It's just, I think this is going to be like on the level of Lights Out, where you had that short film Lights Out blow into something else. I think this is going to blow up into something else as well, because it's just that good.
That would be interesting to see.
Yep. All right.
Like, I hope it does well, because it prays. Yes, you have a demon and a creature and stuff like that, but it preys on, like, you could say it borderline preys on people's like night terrors. Like how you kind of feel paralyzed, and sometimes with your night terrors, and it's definitely anxiety ridden.
Yes, definitely.
This movie. So yeah,
it's gonna make you a little uncomfortable, toes curling.
I missed the major scene because I had to keep everybody out of the room for the one big scene, and I heard it, and it was frightening to hear it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
It's pretty unsettling.
All right, so we want to talk about some June releases, or Marcus, do you want to talk about the other film that you just won a couple of awards for that's coming too?
Yeah, so I'm working on a new feature right now, called Scissor Mouth. So last night we premiered the concept trailer / teaser. So once we get that up on YouTube, we'll share it to the world. But I'm working with some filmmakers out here locally in Vegas. It is going to be like Retro's 80s, because we're setting in 80s Texas. It's kind of like Mommy Dearest, if any of you guys out there remember that film. It's like Mommy Dearest meets Scream meets it's a straight up slasher. But it's going to be a fun one, and we got some awesome unaliving moments in this script. So yeah. Oh, and the one thing I can announce is we landed Johnny Pemberton from the Fallout series, so he's starring in it.
Yeah. Nice, very nice.
For now, yeah.
All right, let's move over and let's talk about some June horror movies. So we got 4 big films coming out in June, and the first one is coming out on Hulu on June 5th, and that is going to be Predator: Killer of Killers. I can run the trailer. I can run the trailer back if you guys want to see the trailer, but so we got that movie coming out, and then let's run through the list of them all, right? So we have that on June 5th. The next day we have The Ritual coming out in theaters, which is it's a possession movie, as you can see, based on true story. It's another one of those type of movies. The 20th we have 28 Years Later, and then just 7 days later is M3GAN 2.0, which is coming. So first off, what movie are you each looking forward to?
28 Years Later for me, man, because I love the franchise and I love the comic books. So yeah.
Well, I don't know about The Ritual coming out. I'm not looking forward to M3GAN, so I would probably have to say 20 years later. I haven't seen the first one, and the second one I was in and out of consciousness sleeping through. so I'll have to give those a run through before I see the movie again. See the new movie, but but just watching the trailer, it looks the most interesting. M3GAN 2.0, I don't know what they're thinking with this one. Like, at least with like the original, like the first movie was horror. With like the dancing was a little campy, but you know you got to do something for the younger audiences, PG-13. But like she's jumping off a building, she's gliding through canyons. Like, what the hell is going on?
They're going full blown Terminator. They're going full blown Terminator. How the first Terminator movie
Terminator was still
horror,
scary,
and the second one is like, well, not the second one. The second one was like more sci-fi action than horror than the first movie. So that's what they're doing with M3GAN. Yeah,
hate it. I hate it.
Marcus, you and I talked about M3GAN being one of the runaway hits when it came out in 2023, right? And we were both shocked by it. Like, we were talking about, like, at the end of June, we were talking about, hey, what's the biggest movies that came out so far for the year? And M3GAN was in the top 3, along with Evil Dead. And it was a very good, a very good film to watch. I was very excited to see the unrated cut to come out, and when the unrated cut come out, it didn't really throw much more into it. But the TikTok generation really stole this film, so they got it down from an R to a PG-13, and now we have this fun action flick that's out there. So it's a sci-fi film, possibly for the TikTok generation. So that's what we're getting.
Yeah,
a lot of cheesy dialogue on there. If it does better than the first one, I will be truly shocked. But I don't expect it to be doing that well. I think we're going to lose a lot of fans.
Yeah, well, we thought the same thing about the Minecraft movie, and look at that one.
Now I do like the actress that they hired to play the evil android synthetic because of the fact that she stars in Ahsoka, and she was awesome in Ahsoka. So I'm looking forward to her scenes the most, but that's really about it. Like you all said, I don't have high hopes for the movie, but I am going to go see it, mostly for her. So
yeah, and now, because of the whole thing with M3GAN being so popular, there was the Subservience movie that came out with Megan Fox, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the obsessed android, and then we had Companion that came out, and then there's another one.
Companion was awesome. Companion was freaking awesome.
There's another one coming out by the studio that did M3GAN, which is going to be in the same universe, so they may have them pair up and fight against each other in the future too.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah.
But what's really creepy about the M3GAN film and the franchise and its influences, and I just showed Noah this today, is that the life-size version of the M3GAN doll produced by Negative, it goes for $500. It's so now I have around me. I have animatronics. I have Chucky. I have Sam. I have Art the Clown, a little pale girl, and I have Pennywise. And I was like, hey, this would be perfect just to kind of have this in the collection, right? She's not animatronic or anything like that. It would just be cool to have that. But then I look at it and it's like, a grown man owning this? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel dirty owning something like that, right? And so the three of us, we know a toy dealer. He has a shop over here, and he has it up in a shop. And he said that there's been a few guys that have come in there. And it's like, oh, is it made from latex? And they're going up there and touching the box and stuff like that. It's like,
dude, I'll just stick with my.
Those people need to be put on a list.
I'll stick with my little NECA figure. I'll stick with my little 1/6 scale NECA figure and keep her in the box, man.
Yeah,
like having a life size. I don't.
Feels like an episode of Law and Order, like waiting to happen. Honestly.
Yeah, right? I think now the doll is fantastic. It looks very good. It looks as good as Chucky back there.
Latex is like, why choose latex though? Like, and it is because it is made out of like it is a latex doll, and it's so weird that they went that route. The box is cool though, because it's like it says M3GAN on it. It looks like a Barbie, like original vintage Barbie doll box. But yeah, like, don't like it at all.
Now maybe it's not going to happen this year because Spirit Halloween has already come out and announced that they have already scaling back for this Halloween season because of the tariffs and stuff like that. Maybe we see an animatronic come out in a year or 2 years of M3GAN that people can go out there and buy. Yeah, so
I hope not, because they're going to try to make it do the dance, and I'm like, that scene still
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
uncomfortable because
Mhm,
I'm like, no little girl should be doing that,
mhm,
So yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I would consider buying the animatronic. I would be more comfortable owning the animatronic than I would this doll. So we'll see. We'll see what
Mhm.
happens there. We'll talk about horror collecting in a minute, King Matthew. But so the other film is The Ritual. So I'll show a clip of it here. So we have.
I can't sleep. I can't think. For us to be divided, it's for us to fall. We are the ones that stand in the breach
Mr.
and hold back
Al
the
Pacino.
darkness.
Al
I'm
Pacino
liking
making
this.
a movie comeback in a horror film is crazy.
Yep.
Well, he's been in a horror film before.
Yep. He has been in a horror film
Devil's
before.
Advocate. Yeah,
Hmm.
Devil's Advocate, man. I'm feeling this actually
Yeah.
because of the
Look at
fact
that.
that
Look at
the
that scene
tone
to
of it.
freeze on.
Yeah, man. You know what this reminds me of? The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Emily
No, not
Rose. Yep.
Exorcism of Emily Rose. Uh, yeah, was it the Exorcism of
Yeah. You're
Emily
on the right
Rose?
money. Yeah. Exorcist of
No,
Emily
I'm
Rose.
thinking of the other one. What was the other one that had it was the Exorcism and it starred the dude from Get Out that played the younger brother. You know which
I
one? And
don't.
it had a sequel too. Let me look that one up. Hold on.
Was it a found footage one? Because there was a
Yeah,
found
so what it
footage one.
was yeah, because what it was the guy performing the exorcism was a
Hmm.
fake priest.
Yes.
And so he
Yes.
came to the town. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this reminds me of. Yeah.
Yeah. Just without the found footage part of it. But yeah, this looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see this. Yeah. I think after
It looks
having the.
good.
It looks good, right? It seems like it's gonna check some of the boxes out there. I know we've been trying to get some good possession films out there. It's very hard to have a good possession movie out there now. Like if you really think about it, you have The Exorcist, you have The Exorcism of
Not
Emily
the new
Rose.
Exorcist movies.
Which one?
The Last Exorcism.
Not
The Last
Yeah.
Exorcism.
the
That's what it was called. Yeah.
the new Exorcist movie.
Oh, not the new one. Yeah, not the new one. So
Yeah.
I like exorcism movies. I think they can be done really well. The
Mhm.
Priest, like with what's his name, Russell Crowe, that was good, but it was good because he was in it. He made it very
Mhm.
entertaining, and I enjoyed it for him being in it. So yeah, this looks pretty good. So that one comes out on the 6th. 28 days later, we've talked about that. What really gets me into that movie is just the trailer itself. This looks like we're gonna have
You
a really
got
good zombie film.
the Philippou brothers movie comes out, right?
Which one?
Uh Bring Her Back or Bring It
That's
Back or whatever it's called.
That's officially announced as a part of this month's releases. So that's out there
Oh,
in
okay. I
limited
thought it was
theaters
June.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay. I
hit
thought it was June.
yeah, I'm hit or miss on that one. Like I don't know if I want to see it. Like everybody's hyping it up to be like one of the scariest movies of the year. And
Mhm.
Talk to Me is very good. So this is they're
Mhm.
gonna be their follow up to it. So I don't want to go in there with high hopes based off of that first one and then get kind of crushed. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see about that one. So all right, so let's switch over to King Matthew's question here. I recently started collecting horror stuff myself. So far, I got most of Ghostface's robes. Matt, wow, all right, used
Nice.
in every. Wow,
Nice.
damn. Where do you recommend I shop for stuff at? Well, it depends on what you're looking to buy, right?
Mhm.
If if you're looking to buy authentic, well, stuff that looks like it's authentic, I suggest going to Nightmares Unlimited because they have Nightmare on Elm Street gloves with the real blades. They have the Nightmare on Elm Street glove from Part 3 with the syringes. He has the Power glove. He makes every single glove from the entire franchise. He also has
Good dope.
Reanimator stuff. He has the orbs from Phantasm. His quality of work and his prices are very, very damn good. Chainsaws. What was it? Alex's S Mart. I think it's called. No, Nick's S Mart
Mhm.
is where
Yeah,
yep, Noah and I have our chainsaws from. They are fantastic looking. Bruce Campbell himself was impressed when he saw it. He has one that has sound and one with no sound on it. So I do like going for a lot of custom stuff when I get that stuff. Uh, for figures, I go to Monstars. I know Marcus goes to a different place than I do, but I go to
Yeah, big
Monstars
bag
or
toy stores or
Mhm.
entertainment earth. Yeah.
Yep. So I mainly go to Monstars because one, he's right by me. He's a mobile. He's an action figure designer, but he also is a part of Amok Time Toys, which is online. So he has 2 stores online. So that's who I go to. I've known him for about 10 years, but that's who I go to. And then of course Spirit Halloween always comes out with some badass stuff. Like you can see
Yeah.
right over my shoulder, I got the Killer Clowns popcorn gun. I got the Killer Clowns ray gun there. So depends on what you're looking to collect. Oh, there's a
Trick or
Chucky
Treat
Jack in the Box.
Studios.
Yeah, Trick or Treat Studios is good too. No, you go to some good custom people too.
You muted.
Yeah, you're muted this time.
Okay. So my one Jason mask that I have, I got from a buddy of mine on Facebook. He makes masks, and I got that for $35. Great looking mask. And he even told me, like, he gave me like step by steps of how to do it, so I would be able to do it if I wanted to do it in the future. Cool dude. But I get a lot of I get a lot of my stuff on Etsy because they got a lot of cool stuff on Etsy. I like shopping on Etsy. It's a fun store.
It is.
But also
'cause I
there's a
got
lot
some
of people
stuff from
like
this.
if you look around on Facebook Marketplace, there's a lot of good like people who are like marketing themselves. You just gotta look like trying to find the right things. I typically use Facebook just for Marketplace and the people who are selling their homemade products because they got some cool shit. They got some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Ghostface
King
robes,
Matthew
you
just
can
let
find
us.
a lot of robes on Etsy, and there's I believe there's actually a group or a page on Facebook that is dedicated to making movie accurate robes. They're around like $300-400 because they're like the actual sparkle fabric that they use in the movies and stuff like that. But I would go through there because they'll also like they'll get your like your specific measurements and stuff like that. Other than that, Spirit Halloween had made a really nice deluxe Ghostface robe. That also is like really sparkly. You're gonna have to hem it though because it's not like it says one size fits whatever. Mine still kind of drapes and hangs, so I step on it. But other than that, it looks really good.
Yeah, I will say this, and maybe you guys can chime in on it too. For anybody that's just getting into collecting or has been collecting for a little bit, and then they see somebody's collection like mine, it's like, oh my God, look at your collection. This is over 10 years of collecting. Like this room, I have a little video store next to me there. I have some stuff upstairs as well. But it's over 10 years of collecting that stuff and finding right purchases and stuff like that. And whether you're in the box collector or out of the box collector, enjoy what you love. Don't look at anybody else's collection and say, "Man, look at that guy's collection." And they're never gonna have that same time. No, get what you like. Make sure you have space for it and you could display it, and then you can enjoy it every time that you go and look at that stuff. That's how I look at it. So
I'm looking at my closet now, and I'm looking at my top shelf of all my NECA figures, and I'm just like, damn, I got a collection of like 10 years worth of stuff, and I got everything from horror to Star Wars up there in there. Game of Thrones, like I got all kind of stuff, man. So my thing is like David has all the mask and animatronics. My thing are the 1/6 scale figures, like NECA figures and Star Wars Black figures and stuff like that, mostly. And I buy 2 because I always like to change the faces or change the hands, and then I keep one in the box, you know. So and then of course pop figures. I got my pop vinyl figures too. You know,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I will say this is just like be careful with whatever line that you're getting into. So sometimes you'll get a manufacturer that'll start a horror line and doesn't complete it, like Todd McFarlane does sometimes. Or you'll have NECA will test the waters like with their Toonie Terrors, like, oh, these figures are fantastic, and then they flood the market with all these different figures in it, and you got to have the space for it to display it. Like I had like 25 Toonie Terrors figures, and they just kept pumping them out. It's like I can't collect these no more. I have to sell off what I have. I don't want to have a half collection here because there's just too many of them now at this point, and I just didn't value them over the NECA figures that I have in my collection because that's majority of my stuff is NECA outside of some other oddball stuff out there. But yeah. So just enjoy the collection that you have. Try not to get too addicted to it where you're buying all these different lines and make smart decisions.
It becomes an expensive habit.
It does.
For real.
It does.
Yes, it does.
If you go, I will say this for any collector out there is if you do go out there and you start autograph hunting, don't put your name on it. I know it's fun to put your name on it and stuff like that. If you have your photo taken with them,
Yeah.
you want them to sign it, yeah, have your name on it. But don't put your name on anything that's autographed, because if you ever run into trouble and you have to sell it, you've now depreciated the value of that signature and the product that it's on. So yeah, just have them sign their name on it. And if they say, "Hey, do you want me to personalize it?" I tell them all the time, it's like, "Hey, no, I don't want you to personalize it, because if I get in trouble in a few years, I have to sell it." So, uh, no, just go ahead and put whatever on there. That was a fun question. We don't get to talk about collecting that much on our show here.
Talk about our goodies.
Yeah, talk about our goodies. So we're not going to talk about 28 Days Later, because I think we're all excited to see it, and then the Predator animation.
I mean,
We'll
I'm
probably
excited. So I'm actually excited for that because they're bringing back, even though he's playing a totally new character, they're bringing back. If you remember Predators with Adrian Brody, they're bringing back the actor, the Asian actor that played the Japanese Yakuza character.
Oh,
So
really?
he's going to be, so he's voicing a character in one of the segments, the samurai segment. So I'm excited to see that segment because he was good. Yeah. And I didn't even know he was like from New York. I thought he was like from Cali or something. But yeah, dude is straight up New York born.
I think they released a new trailer. So let me go ahead and show this here real quick. I think this is a new trailer that they kind of released recently. Yeah,
Oh no,
definitely is.
that's the full trailer. Yeah.
Really? I don't remember the samurais in it when we watched it the last time.
Yeah,
What else
that's the
is
full
on
trailer.
here?
Yeah.
Because I thought the planes was towards the end of the last one that we watched, or maybe I just saw the teaser and I didn't get a chance to see this full one. But yeah, this looks
Because you got
so
the
good.
Vikings, you got the World War, the planes,
Yeah,
and then you got the samurai. Yeah.
that looks so damn good. So that's gonna be a fun watch.
Yeah.
Thank God I have
Yeah.
Hulu. All right, so that's it. So if anybody has questions, we'll come back to some of the questions out there. We're just gonna switch up to Avengers Doomsday. So we got an announcement. So recently, not too long ago, there's a bit of a dispute that's going on with the MCU pointing fingers at Disney, saying, "Hey, look, you made us pump out all this stuff because you wanted it, and now look, we kind of pissed off people, and our universe is collapsing because of what you did." And now they recently come out, and Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars is getting pushed back to December 2026, and then I think May 2027. And there's now the possibility where there's talks where there's two kind of Spider-Man scripts that are been written. Like one's the street level one that happens before Doomsday, but if they end up moving Spider-Man to after Doomsday, they have a, a story that ties into Secret Wars. So hopefully that's not going to kind of impact the street level story. Keep moving forward with Spider-Man. Let's
Street
get it out in the
level
summertime.
crime fighting is Marvel's best storytelling.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of both, like you said, like because of the fact Disney kind of backed them into the corner and forced them to churn out so much content, in a year and stuff. I think it's a combination of that, but also the Russo said from the jump when they came on and made the announcement that they were coming back that they wanted Tom Holland to be a part of it. And so for now, what is it? Brand New Day is scheduled for May 2026. No, July 2026 release. I think they pushed Doomsday back so because now that they're starting filming Doomsday, I think they're about to start up, if they haven't started already, filming Spider-Man. So now that'll free him up to be able to film scenes.
Uh-oh. Marcus froze. He froze. Marcus was going to say he's going to be able to film scenes.
Marvel and Disney. Yeah, Marvel and Disney are bumping heads too. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of both.
Yep. I think there's a good possibility that we may see another bump too. Because Sony likes that December time slot. So I think we may even see Sony come in there and say, "Hey, move it back again because we want to put Spider-Man out at Christmas time."
Because because whatchamacallit, Across the Spider-Verse from Sony got pushed back too, right?
Yep, that's 2027 or 2028.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2026 still.
No, that's
I think they got pushed. Out. They recently got pushed back like a month or so ago.
Across the Spider-Verse comes out. Let's see. No, it's not. What's the Beyond the Spider-Verse, right?
Beyond the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Beyond the Spider-Verse is 2027. Yep, June
Yeah, so
of
it got pushed back.
2027.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we may even see Spider-Man get pushed back into the December time slot, and then it has that cascading effect that moves the other two films backwards as well.
Because they really want Tom to be in it, because they, Tom probably as far as phase. What phase are we in now, Marvel? 5?
I
4,
have no
5?
idea, dude.
I think 5, maybe.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think 5.
After Endgame, Tom's films has been the most successful films box office wise. His 3 Spider-Man films have been the most successful MCU films.
Well,
after Endgame.
So. It's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. Yeah. At the end of the day, Spider-Man and Batman will always draw people to the theaters. Those are the two characters that are going to draw people to the theaters. So even Amazing Spider-Man 2, which everybody hates, made a lot of money. It made a lot of money, and then they just didn't go forward with their plan. So, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we got a question in there. Pretty fast episode tonight since it's the 3 of us. King Matthew, did you guys see where Sarah Michelle Gellar said that she was interested in returning to Scream 7 because she said she had said the most dead characters were returning, so she wants to as well? Yeah,
I don't see that happening because of the fact, as much as I love her, they said she wasn't pleasant to work with on part 2 at all. That's why they cut a lot of her scenes. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes if it were to happen. But yeah, right now she's doing the whole Buffy thing, so I don't know how that would work. Yeah.
Well, I don't think she's gonna have a big part in Buffy, but so for those that don't know, the character Sarah Darling in Scream 3 is Sarah Darling, Sarah Michelle Gellar's nickname from Wes Craven in Scream 2. So apparently Wes Craven and Sarah Michelle Gellar did not get along that well, and so he would refer to her as Sarah Darling. So that's where that character came from in part 3. So that's Kevin Williamson's little jab at her from that. But from the stories that I read, because I did a behind the scenes video on Scream 2 here on the channel, is that she's a badass. Sarah Michelle is a badass. So you can tell that she's a badass in real life. So
much respect always.
Yep. So she would get on the phone with Roger Jackson, Ghostface, and she would taunt him before the scenes. And she's like, all right, come on, Mr. Ghostface. Is that all you got to say? So she would taunt Ghostface, and that would kind of put everything behind him. And have to like, Sarah, that's not what you got to say. Let's relax. Let's dial it down, Sarah. So she was, I guess, really excited to be a part of that franchise, and she kind of just went over the top and was a little difficult back then. But remember, she was coming off of a lot of big things. She was a very successful soap opera actress. She actually won awards being on soap operas, and then she crossed over into film, and her career just kind of took off. So I guess that ego at the younger age kind of followed her a little bit until she got humbled. So, yeah.
Because she had a lot of scenes with the sorority girls, with Rebecca Gayheart and Drea De Matteo, whatever her last name, Drea De Matteo. But they cut all of that, and those ladies even said like, yeah, Sarah was a little bit bitchy on set. So
yeah, so
I did get to meet her when I was 16 on set, so that was cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think, and she was very cute back then. But I think that she would probably. Yeah, she would probably want to come back to kind of just like, hey, let me come back and just kind of do some justice to how I left off in the film and kind of correct some of maybe past mistakes. But I don't want to see anybody else come back. I don't want to see. Anybody else come back.
Yeah, I was gonna say like when I was off camera, my response was, who gives a shit? Like if she comes back or not. Like they're tanking this movie so hard already. Who gives
I will
a shit?
say one character who I wouldn't mind coming back. I know it's impossible for him to come back, but the only character, if they were to ever really resurrect a character to come back, it would be Cotton. Cotton would be the one person I'd be like, yeah, bring that motherfucker back. You know, especially if he came back vindictive and became a Ghostface. You know, that I'll be all for Cotton coming back. Yeah.
Now, did you guys see that the rumor is that Roman's daughter is in the film? So one of the people that has been cast is potentially Roman's daughter.
Yeah.
So we're essentially Recycling 3. We are recycling 3, throwing a little bit of 5 in there.
So many abandoned children in this franchise.
Right? This is like so many bad parents that are out there in the Scream franchise.
Pretty much.
So I don't know. I guess I would just like to get maybe some more details about the movie instead of everybody speculating.
I wish we would
out
just
there.
stop telling us
I
stuff.
don't want.
And speaking of Scream, since we're on the subject, it's Jamie Kennedy's birthday today. So
happy birthday, Mr. Kennedy.
He's such a cool dude. All right, fellas. Like I said, 3 people tonight. We didn't have much news to go over. So unless there's a big news that comes out, I don't think we'll come back to the news next week. We'll probably get back to our Scream 3 rankings, or we'll see what other fun things that we come up for next week to talk about with everybody. Or if somebody wants to see us talk about a topic out there, that maybe we'll throw a topic in like, hey, how would slasher movies be if our slasher antagonists didn't wear masks? How does that change everything? Is that a topic that people would want to hear? So that'd be an interesting one. So Jason without a mask stalking through the woods, still a little scary. But how about Michael Myers without a mask? Right? I don't know if I want to see that.
Only if he was a kid. There was a comic book run. I forgot. It wasn't Night Dance. It came with the 25 Years of Terror documentary, and it followed Michael as he was a kid in Smithsgrove, and he was taking people out in Smithsgrove, like staff, other kids in Smithsgrove. That would be the only way I would like to see Mike without the mask, because that story was a fun read. Loomis got married and Michael killed his wife. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
All right, so I think King Matthew gave us an idea here. So, and maybe we can do this twofold, right? So I know what you did last summer, character rankings, and on the live moments, maybe, fellas.
Yeah,
and what about a 28 days franchise character ranking on the live moments? Maybe we can come back and do.
I would like that, but everybody has to watch the movies though.
It's only 2 of them.
I know you did last summer as well.
Yeah, it's only 2 of them, right? So we could do it before and after, or we can wait until after we see the third one. We have to see if everybody can watch the third one in the theaters, or we just do it right beforehand going into it. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we'll come back to that, King Matthew. All right, folks.
Well, skip the third. I know what you did last summer. The one that went to DVD. Skip that one because
I didn't even know it existed until we started talking about it on the podcast previously.
They turned Ben Willis into a supernatural being, and that was just
he's a
ghost.
It was stupid, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you.
All right, yeah. So we'll toss around the ideas with the other boys on the channel here. See what we can do. Maybe we'll see if we can bring in a special guest to kind of change things up a little bit. But we'll definitely come back to that idea. I think it's a very good idea. But until we see you all next weekend, have a great holiday. If you're off tomorrow, if you're working, thank you for working. If you're a veteran and you're watching our show, thank you for your service. I know it's not Veterans Day, but hey, thank you anyway, because there's a lot of great people out there that sacrifice themselves for what we get to do today. And we'll catch you all next week. See you.
Peace.
Be safe, everyone.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's having some good food tomorrow.
Ooh, ribs sound good.
Ribs do sound good.
I wish I could grill in front of that. Antebellum home.
I'm hungry.
Some marshmallows in front of that house.